Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Wave. In this episode, we'll talk about how to buy the dip. Right? We keep hearing this term every time Bitcoin and the whole crypto market crashes. The whole of Twitter and everywhere is just flooded with people saying buy the dip, buy the dip. But how do you really buy the dip? Is there a science behind it? Is there something that you can do in a more scientific manner than just randomly buying tokens while there is a dip? Let's check it out. Right now, let's look at Bitcoin price history. Now, if you look at Bitcoin over the last more than 10 years, you'll see that there are ups and downs in the market. There are short-term crashes. Like in this case, where Bitcoin pretty much recovered within no time, and there are crashes like this after 2019, where the price stayed low for quite some time, at least 2 or 3 years before it started rising again. Now, this is driven by what is known as the Bitcoin halving. So, every time Bitcoin halves, there is a supply shock, because of which the demand for Bitcoin is pretty much the same, but the supply has just got cut by half, and hence it triggers or ignites a bit of a price rise, and that, along with many other factors, eventually pushes the price up, and Bitcoin carries the entire market. Almost all tokens have a very high correlation. In fact, even Ethereum has a 99% correlation with Bitcoin price, and when that happens, all other tokens as well rise. So we'll just, for all practical purposes, take Bitcoin as a measure. Now, let's look at this section here, what really happened. Right? We'll analyze two dips from the past, and then we look at an interesting story. And let me just get that right. Yeah. So, sometime in, I think about, somewhere around here, in December of 2017, Bitcoin price peaked at that point of time to 19,400 odd dollars. And almost a year later, it dropped to almost like 3,800, and I think to one of the lowest levels that it went after that, which was probably an 85% drop in value. And this is not the first time that has happened. In fact, if you look at the earlier 4 year cycle, which looks like a straight line now because Bitcoin price has increased so much. But if we remove the price highs, so you'll get a better graph. Now, if you look at this, this is in about 2014. Back in 2014, Bitcoin price again peaks over there to over about $1,100, and then it drops. It drops to almost, I think the lowest was here, right here, to $210, right? That's again another 82% drop in price. Now, if you look at the entire market, we are sort of in that, and it's like history is repeating itself. Right? Why is that? Because we had the Bitcoin halving event again sometime, I guess, in 2020, after which there has been a significant price rise, and due to a lot of factors, the prices continue to stay up. The next halving, though, is in 2024, and the market has pretty much crashed. If you look at the last 180 days data, you will see that the market has come down significantly. Now, is this a good time to buy? What is the bottom? So, the bottom, in one definition, is probably when the people who are holding Bitcoin and the prices reach so low that they no longer care about selling it because their losses are too much, right? So people are like, okay, I'm going to hold now, no more selling. No matter what happens, it doesn't matter. I'll just hold. I've lost too much already. So probably the bottom is somewhere there where the market feels that, okay, there's no point of selling now, and then the market starts picking up again. Now, how do you take advantage of something like this? Let me tell you a little story. This is from actually a personal friend of mine who actually did this. Very risk-taking guy. So back in 2019 or 2020, I guess, when Bitcoin and the entire crypto markets had already crashed. Now this guy, what he does, he borrows $14,000, and so yeah. Before I continue, disclaimer: do not do anything like this. Especially, do not borrow and invest in crypto markets. That is too risky. So don't do anything like this. This story is just to give you an extreme of what happens when you buy the dip and you get it right. That's all. This is just to highlight a situation like that. So this guy, he invests about $14,000, borrows that money, invests $14,000. I think Bitcoin price is roughly $4,000 at that point of time. He bought two Bitcoin worth $8,000. With the other 6,000, he bought about 50 ethers, and with two Bitcoin and 50 ethers, he was just holding on to it. I guess at the peak, let's calculate what happened at the peak, right? Bitcoin almost peaked at let's say about $69,000, and Ether went up almost to 4,800 plus dollars. Now, when this happened, all this, let's look at the value. He had two Bitcoin, right? And he had about 50 Ether. If you add that up, that's roughly, you know, $378,000, right? He had invested $14,000, right? Which is almost a 27x of his return. This is what happens when you get the dip right. I'm not saying that all everybody can get this, but if you get it right, if you understand the market, and if luck is on your side, which is probably the most important factor here, then some extreme case like this can happen. Of course, I'm not saying that he even sold it at this. So buying, timing the market to buy is just one part of the problem. Timing the market to sell is another part of the problem. Even if you buy it low, have you sold it high? So getting two things right again may not be a coincidence. So it takes a great amount of difficulty, but at least from the dips, if you have a set of tokens that are very well researched, and you know that these tokens have fundamental value, even if the market is crashing due to various reasons, there are users for the token. Utility is there. It's a long-term play. So when the market crashes, it's probably the time to buy such tokens, right? And to make it easier for you guys, so what I did is I did a little bit of research. I'll just explain my methodology, so you guys can probably try and do the same. Uh, what I did is I looked at all tokens which have a great amount of resilience. So every time it crashes, what are the tokens that even come back up, right? Even if it's a minor crash or a major crash, what are the tokens that have sustained over the last few cycles? I've tried to create a basket of those tokens so that it becomes easier to as soon as there is a crash, it just becomes easier to go and invest in such good tokens, because there's a good chance that it'll come up. And just a disclaimer, this basket was created before the Luna crash, so you will see Terra here. I'll just call that out. I'll tell you how to address that in a couple of minutes. What does this basket has? This basket has Bitcoin, it has Ethereum, it has Decentraland, Engine, Terra, Maker, Gala, Seek, Chills, Mirror Protocol, and Uniswap. Right, and I've tried to split it in this fashion so that you have a lot of stability, because there are very solid tokens like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there are some risky ones like Mirror Protocol. There are many small ones like Gala, which had given huge returns last year. So what I've essentially done in this basket is try to diversify based on also all these tokens. First of all, are those which had a great resilience for any previous crash, even a minor one. It always came back up to previous levels in a given time frame, and these were tokens that were doing that time and again for every minor and major crash. Uh, these tokens did keep coming up every time, and hence I felt they have great resilience for the market crash, and also the fact that most of them are fundamentally very sound. They have great ideas, and hence this basket was created. Uh, Now, Bitcoin is obviously the foundation of this entire basket, 25%. So you know for sure that 25% of your investment is rock solid safe. Then there is Ethereum, which is again another safe token. So I would say about half of your basket is pretty safe. And if you look at the other half of the basket, what I've tried to include is smaller tokens like Chills, which has so many real world use cases. It's already tied up with so many soccer clubs. Um, there's Seek VR, there's Gala Games, there is MakerDAO, MakerDAI, sorry. So a Maker is another token which is very important. You can watch our previous video on why I feel this could be a 100x token. So Maker, then there's Terra. Now I want to call this out that this basket was created before the the whole crash of Terra. So Terra is still here. If you want to feel safer, then you can probably not invest in Terra, but rather just buy 10% of Maker itself. because Maker still has sound fundamentals. Then there's Engine. You can pick up Engine, and there is Mirror Protocol. Mirror Protocol is another Terra ecosystem token, but it had great value. It had the idea was just fantastic. Right? I absolutely loved their idea, and I felt that it was going to do really great. I'm not entirely sure what is the impact uh, of the Terra crash on Mirror. What is their future plan? Because their primary use was they were using UST, but the idea being sound was the only reason why I felt Mirror was good. So not entirely sure of their future roadmap and so on. This could be another token that you might want to swap with. Maybe add some more 5% more Ethereum and 5% more Uniswap or something like that. Or you could even buy Pancake Swap. But yeah, just wanted to call out that Terra and the Mirror protocol is a Terra ecosystem token. Is something that this 20% is up to you what you want to try and choose. But the reason why I kept Terra is because there is a comeback plan. So if you're anyway buying the dip, and if you want to take a little bit of risk, 5% in Terra, I don't think should matter that much. Um, Maybe it's a risk worth taking. If you look at the all-time high, it was about $119. Of course, it's 100% down from where the all-time high was, and the all-time low was 5 days back. But since the all-time low, it has gone up 18,000%. Right? That's about 180x increase. So I just feel that it's maybe a risk worthwhile. If you're anyway going to invest in the dip and hold on to these tokens for some time. So maybe a tiny amount, if not 5%, 1% wouldn't really do much harm. But buying the dip should be distributed on tokens like this, which you know are resilient, which have a chance of coming back. And given that you hold it for, let's say, another 3 years, when the next Bitcoin halving event happens and the cycle rises up again, that's when this will give you fantastic returns. Right? So potentially these tokens are bought for their fundamental values and the fact that they can rise up, and we're hoping that they all stay till the next cycle happens, maybe 2 or 3 years from now. So hope this video helped in trying to figure out a more scientific way to buy the dip and not just go buy any token when there is a dip.